Good morning, class 7th. This is your second chapter from your book Honeycomb. Okay, what is the name of your book? Honeycomb. We have completed the first chapter of this lesson, 3 questions. Now we are moving to the second lesson, and the name of the lesson is A Gift of Chappals. What is the name of the chapter? The name of the chapter is A Gift of Chappals. Fine. I hope you are noting down each and everything without, not the explanation I am talking about, but the fill in the word meanings and everything. Okay. So, before moving to the chapter or before starting explaining you the chapter, let me give you an introduction about the chapter. That what is the chapter about? Okay, listening to that introduction, you will understand what is the lesson. So let's have an introduction about the chapter, A Gift of Chappals. Now the introduction is, the story is about the mischievous and simplicity of the children's behavior. Okay, you know that the children are mischievous. They do all kind of activities, all kind of mischievousness. Okay, so in this story, we are also going to see the same. We are going to see the simplicity of the children. We are going to see the behavior of the children. Okay, how mischievous they are. They wish to explore every aspect but act according to their own logic. Means they will use their own brain, okay, to solve out something. How do they use their own brain? Okay, and work according to that. Without knowing, means they are innocent. Children are not that mature. So they do whatever they think is right. They think that whatever we are thinking right now is right, so let us do it. Okay. They gave chappals to the beggar and then the music teacher without hesitation. Now, as the name of the chapter is Gift of Chappals, while going through the chapter or moving forward with the chapter, we would come to know what is the story of these chappals. Okay, whose chappals are being given to whom, and how then the problems are being solved. Their sensitive heart melts easily, and when they come to know that what mistake they have done. In the chapter, when the children come to know about their mistake, how their sensitive heart melts and they try to solve that problem. Okay, so this is the introduction about it, that how do they solve their mischievousness, how do they use their own brain to solve the act. Okay, so in this chapter there is Mrudu, Rukmini, Tapi, Tata, Lali, Ravi, Meena, all are there. Okay, let's move further with the story. Mridu is a young girl. In this story, Mridu is a young girl growing up in Madras. Now the new name of Madras is Chennai. Okay, with Tapi, her grandmother, and Tata. Tata is her grandfather and Tapi is Mrudu's grandmother. One afternoon, Tapi takes her to her aunt Rukmini's house. Now who is Tapi? Tapi is Mrudu's grandmother and Tata is Mrudu's grandfather. Okay, Mrudu lives in Chennai with her grandfather Tata and grandmother Tapi. one afternoon, Tapi decides to take Mridu to her aunt's house, and her aunt's name is Rukmini. Okay, and also to meet her cousins. Cousins means Rukmini's kids. Okay, Rukmini's children. Now who were they? They were Lali, Ravi and Meena. Okay, so Tapi takes Mridu to Rukmini's house to meet them. Okay, Mridu goes along with Tapi to her aunt Rukmini, where she meets her cousins. Okay, and everyone in the house were happy to see Mridu. They were glad. Glad means very happy. They all were glad to see Mridu. A smiling Rukmini, Rukmini threw open the door. Ravi and Meena rushed out, and Ravi pulled Mridu into the house. Wait, let me take off my slippers. Whenever we get into the house, whether it's ours or whether it's anybody else's, we remove our slippers outside the door. She set them out neatly near a pair of large black ones. Those were actually grey and with dust. You could see the clear mark of every toe on the front of that slipper. Now here they are talking about the slippers which were there kept outside near Mridu's slipper. Mridu's slipper. Besides that were the very big slippers, and on that there were the footprints of the every toe. Okay. Mridu didn't have much time to wonder about whose slippers they are, because Ravi dragged her to the backyard. Now as Mridu came into Ravi's house, what did Ravi do? Ravi dragged her means pulled her, okay, and took her. Where did he took her? He took her to the backyard, to the back of the house, okay, behind a thick bitter berry bush. Where did Ravi take her? Ravi took her to the backyard, and where did he take her in the backyard? In the backyard there was a thick bitter berry bush. Okay, Ravi took her besides that. Now after going there, what did Mridu see? Mridu saw that inside a torn football lined with sacking and filled with sand lay a very small kitten. Mridu saw a very small kitten inside a torn football. Okay, and what was that small kitten doing? Lapping up milk from the coconut half shell. The small creature was busy drinking milk that was kept inside a half shell of coconut. Okay, so this is what happened when Mridu went to Rukmani's house. Ravi took her at the backyard of the house, and there Mridu saw a small kitten inside a torn football, and then that small creature, that small kitten was drinking milk that was kept inside a half shell of coconut. Okay, now Meena informed Mridu about the kitten. How did they find it? Meena informed Mridu that they have found the kitten outside their house in the morning of that day. What did they inform? Meena informed Mridu that we have found this small kitten outside the gate this morning. Okay, it was mewing. Meow, meow. This is called mewing. Okay, it said Meena informed Mridu that we found this kitten outside the house and this cat was only mewing and mewing. Further, Meena also said that it's a secret. Amma says Patti will leave for our Pudu Mama's house if she knows we have a cat. What did Mridu say? What did Meena say to Mridu? Mridu said that we have brought this kitten into the house is a secret and we must keep it as a secret. Why? Because our grandmother, whose grandmother? Meena, Ravi's and Lali's grandmother, would leave the house immediately if she comes to know about that there is a cat in the house. Okay? People are always telling us to be kind to animals. But when we are, they scream, "Oh, don't bring that dirty creature here," said Ravi. Now, as here, what is Ravi trying to say? Ravi or the children in the house are trying to say that we are small. We are always being said by our elders that you should be kind to animals. And when we try to do so, we are being scolded, the elder people scream. Why it is so? Ravi was upset that they are being taught to be kind towards animals, and when he was trying to do so, the elders were screaming at them, calling the kitten a dirty creature. Okay? Do you know how hard it is just to get a milk from the kitchen? Now, as they had brought the kitten into the house, now for feeding the kitten they needed milk. Right? So, here Ravi is telling that, do you know it is so hard to bring the milk for the kitten from the kitchen? Because Patti always keeps an eye on the children. They are very mischievous. Patti means here grandmother of Ravi, Ravi's grandmother. Okay? So Ravi here says that the grandmother was suspicious while he was taking out milk for kitten from the kitchen. While Ravi was bringing milk for the kitten, his grandmother asked him. Okay, so what did Ravi say? Ravi said, "I am hungry. This milk is for me. I am going to drink it." Okay, but the way she looked at Ravi, Ravi had to drink most of the milk, or you can say half of the milk that he was going to bring for the kitten. He had to drink more than half of the milk to make her believe that it was for him. Means here Ravi is saying that I was bringing the milk for the kitten, but Patti means grandmother. Ravi's grandmother saw him bringing the milk from the kitchen. So Ravi said that this milk is for himself because he was hungry. But grandmother did not believe. So to make his grandmother believe that the milk was for Ravi, Ravi drank more than half of the milk in front of grandmother. Then only Patti believed that the milk was for Ravi. Okay? But after that too, Patti said that give me the tumbler, I'll wash it. Then what did Ravi say? Ravi said that Patti, I'll wash it for myself. I'll do it by myself. Okay? Why should I trouble you? Saying this, Ravi ran and poured the milk into the coconut shell of the kitten and then ran back and washed the tumbler, put it back before she got really suspicious. Now we have to think of some other way to feed Mahendran. All of a sudden, when Ravi said this name Mahendran, okay, Mridu was a bit impressed also, because such a small kitten and name such a big Mahendran. Okay, this impressed Mridu. Okay, Mridu was impressed. It was a real name, not just a cute kitty cat name. Actually, his full name is Mahendra Varma Pallav Ponai. What did Ravi say? Ravi also said Mridu that they have named the kitten as Mahendran. And Mridu loved this name because it sounded real, like other cute names that we keep for the kittens. Okay, the name which Ravi had given to the kitten was a bit different from the other names. Ravi further added that its complete name was Mahendra Varma Pallav Ponai, and MP Ponai is in short. Okay, means here it's telling that Ravi had named the cat Mahendran, and then Ravi also told the full name of the cat, that is Mahendra Varma Pallav Ponai, or you can say in short it is MP Ponai. Okay. Now further also, Ravi is trying to tell more about the cat, more about the kitten to Mridu. What is he telling about? More Ravi is telling about the kitten that he is a fine breed of cat. The kitten was of a very fine breed. Just look at his fur. Fur means the hair that is there on the body of the kitten. Okay. Like the lion's mane. He is telling that look at the fur of the cat. It is same as the lion has the hair on his mane. Okay. And you know that the emblem of the ancient Pallav kings was, don't you? He looked expectantly at Mridu. Further, he also said that this kitten is of a good breed, of a fine breed, and is a close relative of lion's family. Okay, like one of the Pallav kings used in their emblem. Okay, now to this Mridu giggled. Mridu giggled means Mridu laughed at it. Why? Okay, why? Because she thought that Ravi was joking, only telling big things about the kitten. The Ravi said, "You think I am joking? Well, just wait." Okay, now to prove his knowledge, Ravi further said about the history. Okay, it's clear you don't know a thing about history. Haven't been to Mahabalipuram, have you? Well, when our class went to Mahabalipuram, I saw a statue of his Thathas, continuing, etc. Mahendran here is descended from that very same ancient cat. Okay, means here Ravi is proving his knowledge about the history further. He said to Mridu that on his school trip to Mahabalipuram, he had seen statue of lion, and he firmly believes that it was the ancestor of that kitten. The statue which Ravi saw at Mahabalipuram, okay, he believes that the lion on that statue are the ancestors of the kitten. The Pallav lion emblem of the Pallav dynasty, Ravi went on walking around the bitterberry bush, waving a twig up and down, his eyes sparkling. This cat is the descendant of none other than the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat. And if I say, just remind you, they worshipped cats in ancient Egypt. Okay? What did Ravi further say? Further, Ravi announced proudly that this small cat, this small kitten which we have, is the descendant of Mahabalipuram Rishi cat. It's the descendant of Mahabalipuram Rishi cat. Okay? And further also Ravi reminded Mridu that the cats were being worshipped in ancient Egypt. He also believed it to be a descendant of cat goddess, that is Bastet. Okay? Now further, how he loved the sound of their own voice. Meena and Mridu exchanged looks. What does that have to do with anything? Then here Ravi is trying to more explain about that the cats are these cats are not normal cats. This kitten is the descendant of Mahabalipuram Rishi cat. Okay? Then, well, one of the descendant of that cat goddess was a stowaway in one of the Pallav ships, and his descendant was the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat. Mahendran looked up. Now Mahendran is the kitten. Okay? He had just been sharpening his claws on the edge of the coconut shell. Now it was a small kitten. It did not know what talk is going about. It was busy playing with the coconut shell. Okay? All of a sudden what happened? All of a sudden a screeching sound came to their ear. Now what was this screeching sound? When Ravi was busy in making all proud announcements about his kitten, a weird screeching sound came from the window. Okay? Mridu was startled. Mridu heard that voice and she was very much shocked. And she also saw that Mahendran, the kitten, was also frightened. Okay? He bounced up and scurried towards a bamboo tray of red chilies that had been set out to dry. What happened to the kitten? The kitten, it got frightened and it jumped with fear into the tray of the red chili that was kept into the sun for drying. Okay? And doing this, trying to hide under that chili, okay, some chilies tipped over him and it started doing meow, meow. Okay, now the screeching sound which was coming, it was on and on. It was continuing. Okay, now Mridu was very much shocked with that noise. She asked, what is that noise about? What was it? That's Lali learning to play the violin. Ravi informed. What did Ravi inform? Ravi informed that that is my sister Lali, who is learning to play the violin. She will never learn a thing. The music master just goes on playing like a train whizzing on and on, while Lali's all the time derailing, going completely off track. Means here Ravi is trying to explain that when the music master, the music teacher, when he plays the violin, it feels like the train is running on the track. Means as the train runs on the track, the sound is very soothing. Okay, but when Lali plays the violin, it is like derailing. Derailing means no track at all. Her noise is so much disturbing whenever she plays, because she doesn't play in rhythm, she doesn't play in a track. Okay, and this way she is never going to learn. Now Lali was learning this violin in a room. Okay, so what did Mridu do? Mridu peeped from the window, and what did she found? Mridu kept up to the window. She found that Lali was sitting a distance away, awkwardly holding her violin and bowstring. What is violin and bowstring? Violin, you can see in the picture I have shown you. Okay, and the bowstring by which she is playing the violin. Okay, but the way she was catching the violin was in a very awkward form. It was not in a proper form in which she should have got it. Her elbows jutting out and her eyes glazed with concentration. In front of her, the most of his back to the window was a bony figure of the music master. Now the music master, he was sitting and his back was towards the window. Okay, now this is all what they saw from the window after hearing a screeching sound. Okay, further, when they saw the music master from the window, the back of the music master was towards the window. Okay, the bony figure of the music master was towards the window. He was mostly bald head. Bald head means no hair at all. Okay, with a fringe of oiled black hair falling around his ears. Okay, he and an old-fashioned tuft. A gold chain gleamed around his leathery neck and ring on his hand. Now this is the description about the music master. How was he looking? What was the look of the music master? Okay. He was bald means he had no hair. Okay, the hair which he had, only the less one which he had, were falling on his ears. He was wearing a gold chain. He was wearing ring in his fingers. Okay, and the ring was a diamond ring, glittered on his hand, and it glided up and down the stem of the violin. The master was playing the violin. Okay, and a large foot stuck out from beneath his gold bordered vesti. Vesti is the lungi, you can say, which has been worn by the men. Okay, edge, and he was beating time on the floor with the scrawny big toe. Here further it is telling that the music master had a big toe with which he was thumping on the ground. Okay, while playing the notes on the violin, he was thumping on the ground. Okay, he was playing the notes perfectly on the violin. He was playing the notes perfectly. But Lali was struggling hard. The music master played some of the notes and Lali stumbled behind him on her violin, which looked quite helpless and unhappy in her hands. The tracks which the music master played were melodious, were filled with melody. Okay, but here while Lali was playing the notes, she was missing many of them. She was missing many of the notes. And what a difference! The music master's notes seemed to float up and settle perfectly into the invisible tracks of melody. Okay, and while while Lali, when she was playing that, it was feeling like she was missing the notes. She was missing the notes. Okay, now while the children were having all this fun of peeping from the window, what happened? While the children were having a look on all this, okay, when Mrudu saw that Lali was trying effortlessly to learn the music, okay, a sound, Amma, came a wail from the gate. Amma, oh Amma, Ravi sent that beggar away, cried his mother. Now the children were having fun peeping from the window when a beggar called out, Rukmini. So what did Rukmini say? Rukmini said to Ravi and called Ravi and said that sent that beggar away. Okay, sent that beggar away, where she was chatting with Tapi. Rukmini was sitting in the veranda of the house. The veranda of the house with Tapi. Tapi means he was sitting with Mrudu's grandmother and having a chat with her. When she heard the noise of the beggar, she called Ravi and said, Ravi, send that beggar away. Okay, he was been coming here every day for the past week, and it's time he found another house to beg from. Okay, why did Rukmini said Ravi to send the beggar away? Because now she was fed up with the beggar. The beggar was coming to their place from a week now. Okay, and now she wanted him means she wanted the beggar to search some other house. Okay, now with Ravi, Mrudu and Meena also followed. The beggar was already in the garden, making himself quite at home. When they went there, they found that the beggar had made himself comfortable at the garden. Okay, he was and spread his upper cloth under the neem tree and was leaning against the trunk. What did they found? They found that the beggar by that time had entered the garden and he was spreading his upper cloth on the ground and he was trying to lay on it. Okay, prepared to take a little snooze while he waited the arms to appear. Why did he do so? Why did the beggar do so? Why was the beggar spreading his upper cloth on the ground and trying to lay on it or trying to sit? Because he thought that by the time Ravi brings something or Rukmani brings something, he could take a rest. Okay, go away, said Ravi. Ravi said very sternly to the beggar, go away. My pati says it's time for you to find some other house. He said to the beggar, Ravi said to the beggar that my grandmother has said you to search for some other house. Don't beg here. Listening to this, the beggar was surprised. Okay, the beggar was surprised when he heard this. His eyes opened very wide. Okay, and he gazed at each children standing there. Ravi, Mridu and Meena. Okay, he stared at all of them. The ladies of this house, he said at last in a voice choked with feelings, are very kind souls. What did he say? He said that the ladies living in this house are of very kind souls. They are very good. Okay, I have kept my body and soul together on their generosity for a whole week. He said that for the whole week I am been coming to this house and never I have been sent empty-handed from this house, because I know that the ladies living in this house are very generous. I cannot believe that they would turn me away. And he said that it's unbelievable that I would go away empty-handed from this house. Okay, he raised his voice. Amma, oh Amma, said his wail might be, but wasn't feeble. It began in a deep, strong rumble somewhere in the withered belly and came booming out from his voice. Now, what was his voice about? His voice was like as when you are hungry. Can you shout loudly? No, na? Same thing happened with the beggar. He was empty stomach. Okay, he was hungry, so he could not raise his voice calling Amma, calling Rukmini loudly. Okay. Listening to the beggar's talk, Ravi again went inside the house, told his mother that the beggar is hungry. He wants something. So what did Rukmini say? Rukmini got irritated now, because every day the beggar was coming in the same house to beg. So what did Rukmini say? Rukmini said to Ravi that tell the beggar there wasn't anything, there isn't anything left in the kitchen, and asked the beggar not to come again. Okay. Ravi didn't have to repeat it all to the beggar, what his mother had said, because it was easily heard. Rukmini said this so loudly that Ravi did not have to go out and tell to the beggar. It was easily heard by the beggar whatever was being said. Okay? The beggar sat up and sighed. Sighed means he gave a very long breath. Okay? I will go. I will go. Okay? What did the beggar say? After listening to Rukmini's voice, okay, Rukmini's voice was so loud that Ravi didn't have to repeat her words to the beggar. The beggar said, I will go, I will go, okay, only let me rest under this neem tree for some time. Why? Because the sun was very hot and the tar has melted on the road and the beggar had got blisters on his feet. He was unable to walk outside in such a hot weather. Okay, he stretched out his feet to show large pink peeling blisters on the sole of his bare feet. The beggar stretched out his legs and showed his blisters. I suppose he doesn't have money to buy the chappals. When the children saw the blisters on his leg, they talked with each other that I think that he doesn't have enough money to buy the chappals. Mrudu said this to Meena and Ravi. Further, Mrudu said, do you have an old pair of chappals in the house so that we could give this to the beggar? Okay. Ravi said, I don't know, I don't remember if there is any old pair of chappals in the house. Okay. Mine are too small to fit in his feet. Ravi said that I have the chappals, but mine chappals will be very small for him to fit. Okay. And I would have given him, if my chappals would have fitted the beggar, I would have given mine. But his feet were larger than Mrudu's and Meena's. Now Mrudu and Meena can also not give their chappals because their chappals were also small and the beggar's feet were very large, bigger than the children, you can say. Okay. The beggar was shaking up his upper cloth and tightening his dhoti. Now the beggar was moving from the garden. Okay. But by that time, the children had seen the pain of the beggar and started making plans to give the beggar pair of chappals. Okay, they were planning that the beggar needs something on his feet. Okay, so Ravi said, shh, I am thinking about it. Just wait. Further, Ravi said that it is not fair if we don't give the beggar chappals. What would happen? The beggar would, in next 2 minutes, he would again be on the road and his feet would again start burning in this hot sun. Okay. Now what he needs? The beggar needs a pair of chappals. So where do we get them? From where can we get the chappals? So he said that, come, let's search in the house. Okay. Now as they stepped into the veranda, Mridu's eyes fell on the odd looking chappals which she had noticed when she arrived. When Mridu arrived at Ravi's house with her grandmother Tapi, she had seen a pair of chappals outside the gate. The big grey one with print of toes on it. Mridu remembered that chappals. Mridu remembered seeing a pair of old grey chappals while she had entered Ravi's house. Okay, she whispered, Ravi, who are those? She asked Ravi whom that chappal belonged to. Ravi took the chappals and gave it to the beggar and asked him not to come again. Ravi looked at that chappals. Okay, they were shabby looking and sturdy old chappals. Ravi looked at it and said, these are just the right ones. These are the chappals which we could give to the beggar. He picked them up, walked to the garden and gave that chappals to the beggar. Okay, and said, dropping the slippers down in front of the beggar, he said to the beggar that wear these chappals and go away. Now the beggar stared at the chappals. Okay, hurriedly he flung his towel over the shoulder, pushed his feet into the chappals and muttering a blessing to the children, he walked away. Okay. Now Ravi gave the chappals which he had found in the veranda near the door. He gave it to the beggar, said to the beggar that wear these chappals and go away. Okay, the beggar went away wearing the chappals and blessing the children. And by that time what happened? Now it was the time for the music teacher to leave. Okay, as soon as the music teacher came out of the house and took an unappreciative look at the three of them sitting quietly under the tree playing marble, then he searched for his chappals. When the music teacher came out of the room where he was teaching violin to Lali, okay, he saw the children playing marbles. Looking at that, he now started searching for his chappals, okay, where he had put. He couldn't search that chappals. Lali, he called. After a few moments, she hurried up to him. Have you seen my chappals, my dear? I remember having kept them here. Now the music teacher was about to leave. He was looking for his chappals. He called Lali and they looked everywhere, but they couldn't find it. Now what did Lali do? Lali called her mother Rukmini and informed about it, that mother, music teacher's chappals are missing. We have searched everywhere, but we couldn't find them. Okay, he scurried around looking over the railing and crouching near the flower pots to look between them. Brand new they were. I went at the way to Mount Road to buy them. He went on saying, they cost a whole month's fees. Do you know? Now further, what did the music teacher say? The music teacher said about his chappals that my chappals were brand new. I had spent my 1 month's fees for this. To buy that chappal, I had walked very long, far away to buy these chappals. Okay? Rukmini questioned the children if they had seen anyone picking up the chappals. Okay? Now looking everywhere besides the flower pots and here and there under the tree, everywhere, after looking for the chappals when it was not being found, what did Rukmini do? Now the only thing which Rukmini could do is to ask the children about the chappals. Rukmini caught sight of Ravi, Mridu and Meena sitting under the tree and asked them, "Have you seen? Have you children?" She began, and then, seeing they were curiously quiet, went no more. Slowly seen anyone lurking around the veranda. A sharp V-shaped line had formed between her eyebrows. Means here now Rukmini is getting very angry when she got no reply from the children. Another straight, tighter one appeared in place of her usually soft, pleasant mouth. Rukmini was now really very angry. All these words are being used to show how angry she is. Okay. And Mridu couldn't control anymore. Now looking at the anger of Rukmini, Mridu, with a shiver, okay, she said that the chappals were given to the beggar because that poor beggar had blisters on his feet. So what did Mridu say? Mridu said to Rukmini that they have given the music teacher's chappals to the beggar. Why did Mridu say so? Because Mridu thought that Rukmini would be no longer upset if she came to know that the poor beggar had sores on his feet and the chappals were given to the beggar. Taking a deep breath, Rukmini, there was a beggar here, poor thing, he had such boils on his feet. So what? Asked Rukmini. You gave the music teacher's chappal to that old beggar? Yes, said the children. Listening to that, Pati said, what are the children of these days? Okay. Now further, what did Ravi say? Ravi said that, Amma, didn't you tell me about the Karna who gave away everything he had, even the gold earrings, and he was so kind and generous? More Ravi is trying to say, okay, that you told me the story about Karna. Then Rukmini said that Karna didn't give away other people's things. He gave away his own. Here you have given the beggar somebody else's chappals, not yours. Then Ravi said, my chappals wouldn't have fitted the beggar, so I didn't give it. My chappals didn't fit the beggar, so I couldn't give him. Okay, now listening to this, now Rukmini was very angry. She said, go into the house immediately. Go inside this minute. Don't stand before me. Now the music teacher wanted his chappals. So what did Rukmini do? Rukmini went inside the house and brought Gopu Mama's chappal, new chappal, and gave it to the music teacher. Now because the chappals were given by the children, lost by the children, so Rukmini had to give new chappals to the music master, music teacher. Okay, so what did Rukmini do? Rukmini went inside the house and there were new pair of chappals of Gopu Mama, and she gave that chappal to the music teacher. And she also said, my son has been very naughty, and so looking at the new chappals, the music teacher became very happy. He put them and went away. Okay, well, I suppose this will have to do. These days, children have no respect to the elders. What to do? A Hanuman incarnate. What did the music teacher do? The music teacher said, wearing that chappals, he said that the children of these days are very naughty. They don't even respect the elders. Saying such things, he compared the children with naughty monkeys and also with the incarnation of Hanuman. Okay? He means here they are trying to say that the teacher was only trying to pretend that he has lost his own chappals and not liking the new ones. But the teacher was actually very happy of getting the new chappals, but still pretended as though it was tough for him to accept them. Okay, he was only pretending that he is not liking that new chappals. Okay, now when the music teacher called Ravi and the other children's monkey, this was not liked by Rukmini at all. Rukmini did not like the teacher calling her children monkey. The teacher called Ravi a monkey, an incarnation of Lord Hanuman, which seemed clear that Rukmini didn't like this. She wanted the teacher to leave immediately. Okay? When he had clattered off in his new chappals, she said, Mrudu, come in and have some snacks. Now all when this matter was over about the chappal and new chappal to be given to the music teacher, when everything was over, Rukmini called the children inside the house. They come in, children, and have some snacks. Okay? And have some snacks. Thank God your Gopu Mama doesn't wear his chappals to work. Now here Rukmini is thanking God that Gopu Mama is not wearing those chappals which were given to the music teacher to the office. Because if this happened so, there would be a very big clash in the house. But the main important thing was those chappals were needed by Gopu Mama when he comes home. Immediately he needs the chappals to be worn. Okay? As she walked towards the kitchen with Mrudu and Meena, she suddenly began to laugh. But he is always in such a hurry to throw off his shoes and socks and get into his chappals as soon as he comes home. What's your mama going to say this evening when I tell him that I gave his chappals to the music master? Okay? Now while serving the snacks, Rukmini was laughing also. Why was she laughing? She was laughing. Why was she laughing? She was laughing because she knew that how Gopu Mama, when immediately he came home, the one only thing which he did was he removed his shoes and socks and wanted to get into that chappal first. Nothing more he needed. First thing which he needed was to get into those chappals. And now when he comes home and comes to know about that his chappals were given to the music master, what would be the reaction of us? So this made Rukmini laugh. Okay? She wondered what will she tell him, giving a hint that she will take the blame on herself. What did she think? She thought that she would take all of the blame on herself. Okay? I hope you have understood this lovely story about the gift of chappals. Okay? Word meanings and worksheet. I would give you very soon. Okay? Till then, listen to this chapter again and again. Try to understand the explanation, because in the worksheets, the question answers are going to be done by yourself. So please pay attention. Till then, take care. Hope to meet you soon. Bye.